And we're live. Hello, my friends. Good to see you. My name's Rocky Outcrop. This is your morning financial show. How are you this morning? I'm pretty good. Thanks for waiting. We had some technical difficulties getting started this morning. Oof. And here we are, though. Technical issues hopefully completely resolved. Time to crack on. I suppose we should probably get on with things here. Doesn't that sound sometimes just bring back all those memories of starting off the day, starting off the night, starting off wherever you happen to be in the world with a bit of fun? Here we go. Hit like. So I was a bit cheeky this morning, eh? I put the chat thing to only be in for people who've been a subscriber for 8 weeks. 8 weeks, that's right. If you want to be able to chat in today's episode, you have to have subscribed for 8 weeks. OMG. Okay, I'll edit that. And make it less harsh on people. But over the last 8 weeks, there hasn't been like a ton of subscribers, so I can't imagine too many people are upset by it. Oh, bing, 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 bing. What was that? Wonder what that was. Brave DeLorean Buck. Good afternoon, everyone. YouTube has sacrificed my chatting abilities. I will be with you all in spirit. Oh, no. Oh, no. I can see how that would be a bit of a sad thing for folk. I'll change it down, right? I'll change it down to 4 weeks. 4 weeks. Half of what it was to begin with, right? Half. Like, so we're really half, you know, half. That seems generous almost. Compared to what it was like before, right? So anyway, just wanted to have a chit chat with you all, but not with everyone, because today, because I wanted to take it slightly easier. I think I pulled a muscle in my leg yesterday, and by think I mean no. Yeah, so we're going to be doing squats soon, though. Anyway, even though I'm injured, even though I've injured myself, that's the dedication that we have on this show. That's the dedication. That's what it takes. Rising up, even on sore legs, because we've got to do our squats. Yeah, bam, bam, bam. Are you with me? Are we going to the top? I'm going to squat. There is no way I will stop. That's right. Even if I have got a strained leg, because I pulled it in the night when I was sleeping. That's right. I woke up last night going, OMG, OMG. Is that cramp, or has someone just crushed my leg? It was quite painful. Bam, 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 bam. Right, okay, let's just do the squats, okay? Because it's 12 minutes past 2. We'll do the squats, then we'll go back round to 12 minutes past 2. I say that, but check out that dude up in the corner. Shout out to Sal and Bad Mama Jamma. Between the two of them, oh my god, he called me a giant fanny. That's cute. I'll change it down. I can't believe it. I thought he was subscribed for more than a month. That seems crazy. Let's change it. Let's change it again. Do. You have to have subscribed for more than 2 weeks. How could it? He's subscribed. He's definitely been a subscriber for more than 2 weeks. There we go. I've changed it. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Okay. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. That feels like everyone. That feels like everyone now. Woo. Yeah, we're gonna do the squatties. Okay, hot totties, my babies, my friends, my family. We're gonna do the squatties right now. Paller dog, you feel special. Damn right, you should feel special. Damn right, yes. Although less special now than before. Right. Some people maybe still can't talk. Oh my god, what are we gonna do? We're gonna do squats. We can think about if we let other people do the chatting soon. It's 13 minutes after, as you can see, and we're going to do 13 squats, so let's do it. Good morning, by the way. Good morning, USA. Good morning. No, YouTube did something. I think it's a coincidence. Oh my goodness, it's a coincidence. Uh-oh. When burpees? People keep asking me about burpees. Burpees are like squats, but you put your hands in the air and jump at the end of it, right? Give me a second. That was a girly looking burpee. Was that girly looking burpee? Let me know if I got a burpee right there. Yeah, more or less symbolically. Now it's my left leg that's slightly strained. I'm not really in the physical mood, fitness mood. I'm not really capable, I should say, of doing one-legged squats. So I'm just going to have to squat on a strained leg. That's how it is. You just get on with it. You just do your job. It's not really strained necessarily. I'm not too sure. I think it was real severe cramp. Cheers, Rocky. Can you take a look at XCURUSDT? I think we can. But yeah, we'll do that. So it's quarter after the hour. Okay, let's do this. Do them with me, please do. It's we've got however many people watching right now, and if you could hit like, that'd be good too. 48 people watching, 47 likes. That means pretty much everyone's hit like. Thanks so much. Let's start the day right, shall we? Yes, we shall. Just us. Intimate Friday, right? That's what I could have called the episode. Intimate Friday. People have been, coming along here, finding out that they can't chat unless they've been subscribed for 2 weeks. Maybe they're effing off. Who knows? It's just us here. Oops, wrong camera. It's just us here doing this together. The dedicated, if you like. Not quite, though. Not all of these are necessarily dedicated, quote unquote, because I have, of course, got that kind of level, the dedicated level. And that is people who've actually submitted some of their TA homework, which maybe we could take a look at today if I get time. Maybe put on Christie's video and check out how it turned out with BlackBerry, because Christopher's video is very good. Okay, let's do this. It's easy, really. You just put your weight on your right leg. Six, 7, 8, 9. Actually, it's easier than I thought. You just don't use the strained muscle as much. Use other muscles. Concentrate a bit. Think about it, and you get work around it. 9, I think I said. 10, 11, 12, 13 for everybody who just wants to do the normal ones. We'll keep going a wee bit because it's coming up to the weekend. I mean, it is the weekend. 13. Oh, well, that was a bit different. I'm going to have an aneurysm. That's fun. Love aneurysms. Oh, this thing. I can take a look at all these things later. XCUR. XCUR Inc. As traded on Nasdaq. Put this thing into context. Here's what a bunch of people who really just want to kind of pump and dump a coin can do to inspire volume. Right, 1 minute chart. Look at the candles. That's what volume looks like. This came in recently when they decided to start pumping and dumping it, right? Look at the way it used to trade. Like all the way back over here. When was this? That's just September. People were still trading it back then. When was it all you guys kind of heard about this thing and started asking about it? Who knows? Anyway, still tons of volume. Relatively speaking, a relatively poorly traded coin. Relatively low liquidity. Relatively disinterested. And you can see that in the charts in the way that the candles start to get that barcode look, if you like. People talk about. You can see that, right? And that's not the way it is now, but at least it's there. It's got market makers making markets constantly. You've also got like little probable wash trading happening on the exchanges themselves just to kind of like keep it looking interesting, etc. Keep things moving. XCUR doesn't have that. Has there ever been a period in this thing's life where it was traded heavily? No. Which means that, you know, when you see these larger volume candles coming in, you can be fairly confident that they're coming in from a select group of people as opposed to the markets in general. Over here, zero volume essentially, and then all of a sudden on the 2nd of July just started, or 2nd of August, sorry, the start of August, just August started, and the volume on this thing started. Like before then, it just wasn't interested. Nobody was interested in it at all. And even at that, even though this was like nobody interested at all, that's the equivalent of Shibu a few months ago. Then people became interested in it. It made it to get as good as the Shibu charts. So it's almost like they just kind of, you know, paid people to start trading their thing. That's what it feels like, you know. Anyway, I'm not actually even sure what this necessarily is. I'm just saying it's just like just saying here's Apple on the 1 minute time frame. That's what Apple looks like. Just like a well traded stock. Here's other stocks. GME on the 1 minute time frame. Now GME isn't even that fantastic on the 1 minute time frame or anything, but you can see that there's a lot more on the go. A lot more, even though this thing doesn't trade very much. Even though this thing doesn't trade very much at all. So then XCUR. That's kind of like a lesson. I suppose that can be the lesson for today, in a sense, is that you want to look at what type of market you're in, and you know who you're with, who you're up against, and all that sort of stuff. And there's like literally fuck all volume on this thing. Nobody trades it. It's let's just look at it for a wee while longer then. Anyway, just get an idea of what it is that we're looking at. It's been around the last couple of years. It's been since 2018. It's had bad earnings throughout this period of time. It's had a couple of decent earnings. Not that that really means anything, because they've always been losers. Losing money constantly throughout their history. So we don't know what they do. They've never been a profit-making company. It's always traded towards the downside. And there's the chance that things start to look a bit better because of this here, which has happened now. But you'd hardly call this a recovery. A couple of different ways of measuring it. It's always good to measure it. Different routes, sort of approach vectors or whatever, places to start and stop. Didn't take it to 236 there, but little comparison point. 236, when you draw it in from the higher up one, will be where the resistance was. Yeah, and then if you draw it in from the higher up one, again, so where the resistance was as well, obviously. Right here, right on that, it's kind of where we are. So it was where we were. So we're below the moving averages now, so everything remains bearish, you know, as it stands. Hopefully going to see some turnaround for people who are getting long on this, but you know, we're quite a ways away from having anything substantial to say that that's actually really possible. There's things that you can point to. 20 daily time frame here, you can say, well, we got up into the bullish control zone over here. Well, that was all the way over there, back when the prices were 100% up from where they are now, etc. They've pulled back down into the bearish control zone since. So there's this little spike up that happened. Well, this little spike up that happened was all this just opened way up and then dumped immediately. Pre-market fuckery for people, popping that up into the bullish control zone as a result of selling onto the market, having pumped it during pre-markets. Doesn't seem exactly like necessarily that this one is one that's really worth including necessarily in analysis, especially when this is such a shitly traded, illiquid asset like that. So yeah, nothing really positive happened as yet with this one. Now I'm just going to only be using the RSI today. As you can see, I've got my colors back on the charts. Might be stopping new people from talking here in today's show, but I'm making it easy enough for anybody that's new to come along and watch. I imagine some people that are new get turned off by the white candles, thinking I'm making things too complicated for them or something. When in actual fact, the white candles can oftentimes make things a lot simpler. Decent price action happened yesterday on this one, taking the prices from 116 to 128. That 10% rise up is, of course, welcomed, but it's hardly going to set the heather afire. Like I say, where we are right now with regards to the movements here is in a zone which is, of course, substantially unremarkable in terms of its positivity, apart from on one tiny little singular aspect that if you do actually think that this big push up meant something, and I suppose it did in a sense that trades did occur up there was buying and selling, etc. in that zone, that you could be looking to a couple of different kind of little areas then, I suppose. Like, well, we know that we're underneath this this line here, we're below the 236 in the broader term time frame, okay? And then we can say with a box essentially between, say, the extreme edge of the 618 golden pocket type idea down to that 50% area, we could say that that's perhaps, you know, one of the larger profit taking targets. Draw in another box just for the crack as well, I suppose, here, and say that that this next area up above here would be just kind of like this type of idea. Something in here might be another place to look in the meantime, just if you were to have that lack of substantial movement, 382 Fibonacci retracement point, while just continuing on with the downward momentum, you know, or whatever. So we can do that, and then I can remove that Fibonacci from the background just to give us a bit more clarity on the charts here, and then talk about how, you know, if we are able to get above the 236, then maybe we can aim up to these other zones, bearing in mind the clear need to be careful with your trading between where that 236 is and, of course, this 382 just in here, because we know that there's this previous high with the price action was in here, and if we're to go in and fail to trend, then failing to take out that high would obviously be it. And then, of course, first off, before we do anything, we have to be aware of the potential for lower lows. Right now, where we are right here, right now, is, of course, as well a 382 Fibonacci retracement area. So bearing that in mind, a 236, this is the what would create a valid Fibonacci. So bearing this in mind, buddy, we can just kind of remove this for now. The golden pocket, as it happens, by the way, is just shy of this white line up above in terms of this one. This white line up above is where that 382 is. So just going to include that section there in that box, right? Now, this is where we are with this one. It's where we are with this one. So far, we've essentially in this zone here not done enough quite yet. Now, I don't know what pre-markets are trading at on this one. Doesn't seem to have any data up for that. So we're about to open up soon, so we'll get some more information about this one. Maybe I don't actually have pre-markets on the can get pre-market up this way. Maybe not. Right, so where we... Oh, it can. Yeah, or whatever. We seem to be just... Have we opened up? No. Okay, it's just the charts are a bit funny here when I've got this different setup. Okay, so we're just here, just above that zone. Great. Okay, positive. Yes, great. Looking to try and take out the 50 simple moving average on the daily time frame. Great. Looking to then get a movement up the way. Potentially come in and test off of this area. Great. Anywhere traded in here... is, of course, fraught with areas where people would potentially be taking profits at. We're aware of those zones. Managing risk by taking out the 236 again is, of course, probably your quickest and easiest way to stay safe. Your second easiest way to stay safe is just simply by taking out our previous lows. If you're looking to short this thing, then waiting until this potential sort of resurgence has ended, potentially looking to try and get in at the 382 Fibonacci for a failure of any sort of real positive momentum might be a good idea, a good way of doing it. That'd also be the 618 of any little resurgence that we had here between the highs in at this price and the lows. In fact, I can see actually when I go down, when I'm looking here, that this was indeed a 20 over the period of 2 days. I'm sorry, and we can see that this was a movement up followed by the movement down. So that was interesting. That's sort of the way that that worked. So this is a good idea to have drawn in that Fibonacci. So I would indeed be aiming in that zone. That's kind of where we are really with this one. So you could trade it whatever way you want, you know. By all means, go ahead and take time and play with any momentum that's here today. Short-term traders will know that at 1:30 there's profit taking being happened, due to come in here with the opening of the markets. So if we are looking at a gap, which we probably are right now, then any movements just beyond up to 1:30 will probably get bounced back down again. Let's check in real quick with GME for how things are going. We can come back over that one if we want to take a look at things once the markets have really started kind of rolling away. Rocky, I think he meant XCUR, the crypto. Oh, for fuck's sake, this is that same. He did banana. The second time I've done that this week. Thanks, man, for the donation. Thanks for the information. That was educational. It was educational, right? Markets opened up. This is what we tune in for every day. So there's no problem. We tuned in for education and to see how the markets open up and to be prepared for the trading day. So we did that. We did that quite well with XCUR, that thing, whatever the hell it is. And we can go and do some TA on that in a minute. I don't think anybody's trading it, but as it happens, I've done the frickin' TA on the thing. Nobody's ever heard of it before. It's only because somebody's asking for an otherwise completely unknown cryptocurrency that that has actually got any looking anywhere. Here's GME charts. This is a chart which shows a wedge on it. That wedge is very interesting because it's wedgy, and that means it's interesting. What happened with that wedginess is that we actually dropped outside of it, pushed back in again, and then completed the thing off, like I talked about having happened with AMC. Except with AMC, we actually pushed right through and then got continuation right away. Overall here, you could say that we kind of just re-entered that wedge zone. It's also possible to make a different debate about this wedge altogether and say that, well, in a sense, you only really need 2 touches on the lower side of a wedge anyway, or etc. And it could just be a parallel channel. At any rate, it doesn't really matter because either way round, we're in this phase here that we've been in so far over the last week, last couple of days, has taken us outside of that zone, and we're looking at being able to perhaps change conditions around. This is obviously coming in at the end of what is a Gartley pattern. Gartley patterns look like this, like M's. You've got a range that's defined between 2 points on the left-hand side. This is your X to A point, and then the end of the thing is supposed to be within the range as identified by the overall pattern here. So once we've actually, if we see the prices moving up the way here, which would be the expectation from this general area, bearing in mind that we still actually could come down here to 164 before continuing on up. So I'm still keeping my eye out for that. If it happens, then we're still just trading within a range. Essentially, the range is outlined by that great big M on the charts just right there. So that's where we are with GameStop. We're positive on it because the Gartley pattern, which I'll just draw in now that you've got this laid out for you. The Gartley pattern, we could call it the Corey Bing Bong Gartley pattern if we wanted to for fun, is actually it's potentially done everything that it needs to do in order to actually turn around here at this price point. Now we could also have drawn it in from over here at this low, which actually adds up to a better kind of math for the thing, really as well. So this is kind of like the perhaps the market structural Gartley pattern as opposed to just sort of like the more recent visible one. And that's what's going on there. Can you check out HSI today? Dead by Chickmonk for you. I can do anything. Hi Rocky, can you look at XCUR Curate? It's crypto. Thanks, friend. No problem. It's education and I'm not trading either one, so I'm still here to learn and still got to get to do that. Absolutely. Thanks so much. And a rose from Sarah Steino. Hey, thanks so much. Gertrude Stein is rolling in her rosy posy bed there, saying thank you so much, you American beauty, you. So what we have here is the start of the markets today. We're 4 minutes into the start of the markets, or 3.5 minutes, as you can see. Hopefully this is visible to people who are doing chapters, etc., with the clock up there in the corner. 9:33 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, I guess is what that must stand for, as opposed to whatever it usually stands for, standard, right? It'd be cool if there was some other sort of names, but whatevs. So here you have it. So that's what M. So there's your Gartley. So there's your education. So that's pretty neato, and it's the TA all at once here for this thing. What we can see then to add to that, let's substantiate this thing a little bit more, is we've got this diminishing volume throughout this period. Yes, here's the range just defined there on the left. That's of course the point between X and A of the Gartley. This point here and this point here, that's the range that I'm talking about. And during this period of play in the sort of the Corey Bing Bong, if you like, Gartley visible structural area that I was talking about before, you can see this is where the volume came in. So we know that the volume is also defining our X to A range. So that's pretty nice to know that we've got our fairly clearly defined range where the prices are operating within. And then thereafter the X to A point, what we see with the volume is that the volume actually diminished after the X to the A point throughout this entire phase here, right down to very substantial lows. Actually, looking back the way, the lows in terms of volume over the last few days are lower than what we got after the last big movement. Having seen that in as well, that we had a big volume coming in to push the prices up previously, followed by a long malaise of negative downward price action associated with diminishing volume throughout the entire period. So there's all those things that have been happening. There's other things that we could look in then as well, and I suppose we could ask questions like, back here, did we have bullish divergence before we went towards the top side? And we could do the same question like, but over here, do we have bullish divergence before we go to the top side? Again, not a fractal, just simply pointing out how divergence works, you know, that and looking at it across time as opposed to doing some sort of crazy stupidness. So here you've got a low just here, as you have on the charts here at the X point. Then you had a low, which is bullishly divergent. Over here at that first low, where it could have been the first maybe response to that harmonic, the Corey Bing Bong one, where the original D point was drawn in at, did see a reaction in the prices, which was a low here on the RSI, not actually a bullishly divergent low or anything, came in for this D point movement. The D point movement itself is bullishly divergent, so that's great. So we've actually got exactly the same sort of substantial kind of movements overall. Now what we know then afterwards is that there's like a pause that happens in markets, and that there's a pause that happens in markets, and that we're actually going through this pause phase as we kind of like, you know, just kind of say, are you dancing? Are you asking? Are you dancing? Are you asking? Are you dancing? Are you asking? And that's right. So we're going to actually, you know, the music started to kick in, and we can feel it. So we're getting that feeling in our bones. Over here, suppose just underneath where I am right now, you could then also draw in a little channel around the RSI. So I mean, you can keep going on and 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 on all day. Suffice it to say that I'm bullish on GME, certainly at least within the range as defined by the X and A point, looking up for some substantial profit taking targets. And why not then just start kind of talking about them at the minute in terms of like, if you were to be measuring between that A point down to that D point in here, then of course when we take out this 177 price point area, then we could of course be looking up towards $202 for that that sort of 618 zone, and then beyond, etc. afterwards, right? So $200 could be on the cards, and what we need to do is take out 177, the current price point 172. So we're in that area. Like I say, are you dancing? Are you asking? Are you dancing? Are you asking? We could of course be looking down to 164, 161, etc. again. We actually did get a low in here at that D point. Where is this? That's actually the low just there that happened. So to summarize in terms of that 177 being the wrong number, it's 179, 180, just actually to call it for easiness sake. So taking out 180, that means you're also taking out your previous high, which means that you've got a high that came up like this, then a sort of low but not lower, and not even as low, just a really deep but higher low, and then of course you'd have a high. Now no matter what happened at that phase after 180, what you'd at least be able to say that if we did close up above that zone is that you had higher highs and higher lows, right? So this is what you're looking for. So this is the channel that we're seeing here on the RSI, as yet not visible on the prices. Are we going to see it like sometimes how you see head and shoulders ease on the head and shoulders on the RSI play out a whole chunk of the head and shoulders movement before? So your left shoulder, head, right shoulder will happen with the right shoulder coming in where the head is on the price action. Then the right shoulder comes in on price action. You're looking down and you're thinking, wait a minute, there's a head and shoulders here just displaced by one chunk of the head and shoulders. Happens so often. Will we see the same sort of thing happen here with the channel? Pool 9 minutes, right? 9 minutes. So people out there in the world, people will be like, that's way too long. It's way too long. All of that took 9 minutes. 9 minutes for the greatest technical analysis. I mean, I've got to stop blowing smoke up my own ass, right? Because I know that that's hardly exciting viewer stuff. Nobody wants to. No, it's not enjoyable to watch at all. But 9 minutes, right? Or less. I often say to people, there's always time for TA. If you were trading this, then you wanted to spend 9 minutes, just 9 minutes doing the technical analysis. You might think to yourself, no, there's no time. There's no time. There's no time. There's no time, Rocky. No time for technical analysis. Ah. Thanks for the super chat, by the way, Natural Friend. We'll take a look at your crypto in a minute. There's no time. I've got to trade this now. Markets are moving. I simply must trade this now. Markets are moving. Tell you what, right? Go ahead and continue to believe that. And then half an hour later, as you're sat there regretting not doing the technical analysis, realizing that in the previous 30 minutes, there was certainly at least 10 minutes you could have thrown at the thing, at least. And the truth is that you'd be doing it without having to talk out loud and be recorded at the same time as doing it, or to be understood by anybody. In fact, you could just look at the charts yourself. It would probably be best if you drew something onto the chart so that it would be easier for you to remember what it was that you were looking at. And it'd probably be best if you used some measuring tools like Fibonacci, etc., instead of trying to just eyeball Fibonacci retracements. Nevertheless, a lot of people out there continue to believe that there just is no time for technical analysis. No, I simply must trade this now. Markets are open. Markets are open. They're open, and you're not trading. What you're doing is effing around with some charts. Have you ever heard the story about the man who sharpened his axe? This is shout out to Kala Kala. If you're watching later, leave a comment down below. So there's two guys having an old wood choppy downy race thing, you know, as people do, and they both got axes in order to do it. One chap, who's going to be the protagonist of our story, is constantly chopping away at his tree so much, and what he does is he listens out and he hears that the other guy's chopping away too, but then the other noises from the other guy's chopping area seem to fade off and stop. So our protagonist here, keeps chopping like there ain't no tomorrow, and he's thinking, wow, I'm stacking up all this wood, I'm going to win this competition. Then at the end of the allotted time period for the competition, he goes over, this happens a bunch of times, you know, the noise stopped and then started again, etc., from the other guy. He goes over with all his wood, and he's super impressed with the size of it. And he sees the other guy's wood, and oh my goodness, it's so much more. There's so much more. And he says to the chap, I was chopping out there the entire time. I was chopping. And that, how come you've got more wood than me? And he says, well, you kept taking all those breaks. And he says, well, it wasn't so much that I was just taking breaks, mate. I was actually doing technical analysis on the charts. You know, that's why I actually make money, and you lose money when you're trading, you fucking idiot. That's the story about the man who had to sharpen his axe. Tell it to your kids. Right, so that's AMC. What was I doing on AMC? Oh, that's right. I came over here to remind everybody that I put out a really good video about AMC. It really explains it. It's 30 minutes long. So we went through 9 minutes on GME, and we talked about where we are right now. And then I was saying, oh, things could get deeper. Well, actually, they could. They could get substantially deeper. They could get about 5 to 6 times more information than that. And I've got it all out there about AMC. So we can just check in to see, is it still valid? Yes, it's still valid. Excellent. That's good to see that TA is still valid. All of it is still valid. Oh, really, Rocky? All of it's still valid? Yes. Yes, all of it. Well, that's good to know. Thanks for that. Including including parts like the inverted head and shoulders thing. Yep. Still valid. Including things like the chat about the targets up to on the harmonics, etc. Yep, Still valid, including the chat about the RSI and all that. Yep, still valid. Still exactly the same. So you want to know what AMC? Go and watch that video and then drop a like. Now, if you're struggling, you're like, no, but it's not fresh enough. It's not fresh. I need to be fresher. I want more fresh. I want fresher amp. Drop me some fresher amp, please. This phase here could form into a triangle of sorts. This phase here could let me just see in a different time frame. Yeah, this phase here could be a descending, broadening wedge. Descending, broadening wedge, right? Could be. One touch, two touches, one touch, two touch, three touches, descending, broadening wedge. Therefore, if we break up above the sort of 38.50 price point, we could go back to the apex, 41.34. I'm spoiling you now. I'm spoiling you. I'm spoiling you here by giving you that. Spoiling you because, or, other YouTubers who want to look original doing AMC technical analysis, even though I've told everybody exactly what it is, and it's clear that I'm the one with the technical analysis and everybody else out there will be watching my ones and not knowing what they're doing. There's a freebie for you, right, guys? There's a freebie for you. There's a freebie for you. Enjoy it. Enjoy it, right? Enjoy it. Now, rather than these descendants, sometimes you get these people talking about broadening wedges and they look like this. I mean, it happens, right? I talk about it from time to time. Kind of sucky, these ones, because, you can't really kind of go for the target. Instead, like a descending or an ascending broadening wedge should actually be ascending or descending. It should be ascending or descending. Otherwise, it's just a broadening wedge, right? So the target off of a descending broadening wedge, because this one, as you can see, is descending, would be here. That's $44 in the gap fill, probably, or the test of the gap. So it's up there, sort of between the 41 and $44 zone, sort of 41 to 44. That's 37. Oh no, but 37 to 41. That's not very many big old numbers, Rocky O. That's not very many massive numbers. It's over 10%. Bye. XCUR USDT curate. Just like curate, just curate. Is my dad here? Is my dad here? No. Thanks very much. Instructions unclear. Hit a bunch of birds with my skis. Sorry. Good to see you, Good to see you, Benki. Don't know why you're bloody well blocked out of talking in the chat normally. That's YouTube being a fan, Dan, by the way. And thanks to everybody for tuning in. What was I talking about there? Oh, aye. Dad, if you're right here, what do you think of this one? Of this one? Mixed. Would you say it's mixed? Like the curate's egg. Good in parts. Eh? Good in parts. Good in parts. Yeah. So we thing. How was your day? You can say somebody, how was your day? And you can answer it by saying, it was like the curate's egg. It's a little worldly thing, It's like a phrase which should be included in the British Guide to Higgy. While people over in Sweden have got like torch logs and blankets made from fur and warmth and snuggly coziness and whatever. British people have got cups of tea and phrases like that. Oscar Wilde and the like. Hit off of that golden pocket. Nice. Pull back from it. Ooh. Did we do it divergently? We did. Have we actually pulled back yet? We haven't. Where's the cross coming in at? Down below. What time frame is this? The 4-hour time frame. Significant enough. Where's our target? I wonder. Maybe it's 282. Oh my god. What's 10%? 30 cents. What's 20%? More like 50 to 60 or something cents. Where's 280? That's closer to 20 than it is to 10. Oh my goodness, that's pretty nifty. That's where I'd rather long it from. However, if we do go up, then maybe we're breaking out of this thing. Burning off bearish divergence, looking to go into oversold type territories. This is what happens sometimes. And it's happened in El Paso. How would you maybe want to look at it? You could look at it different ways. What sort of way would that be, Rocky? Okay, well, for example, you could look at it like this. You could say, well, hold on, if we came up to that high and we didn't take out our 236, just for example, then maybe we're going to go on a bit higher. So if we're going over here and we went to this low to this high and we didn't take out our 236, maybe we go a bit higher. Maybe we go a bit higher. Yes, that's right. A lot of people do not subscribe to this channel because they tune in and they think, who is this mad fuck? I also probably swear too much. Cutting off, you know, sort of the if you're eager beavers looking to long it are paying attention to the fact that their risk would have to then cut them off here with the awareness that the prices could go on down a wee bit. But what is that though? That is of course at 315. What I tell you what though, do you know the difference? Do you just know this thing? There's this concept in the world called mathematics, right? It's pretty messed up. It's crazy. It's set. What mathematics says to you is that the distance between 315 and 280 from where the prices are right now. This is crazy, right? You might not have heard of this thing before. If you have and you didn't understand it, then I get it. It took me years, literally years and years and years of being schooled about this sort of stuff to understand this thing called math. Mathematics is what I actually call it, by the way. But what you'll notice, right? It's crazy. You'll notice it, right? But the distance between 330 and 315 is 15 cents. It's 5%. And the difference between 330 and 280, right? That's that whole thing that, I mean, like I said earlier, I'm not particularly good at math, but it's certainly a lot closer to 20 than it is to say 10 or even 5. So it's a lot closer to being 300% worse than the risk as going down to 315, going down to 280. It's 300% worse than the risk over here. So you can kind of see how there's this math thing, and how this math thing kind of says, well, wait a minute. The distance between 315 and 280 is greater than the distance between 330 and 315. That's great. This distance here is bigger. This is a bigger distance between these two than it is between these two. That's amazing. And then, of course, trading and just having your brain switched on would then probably indicate to you that you'd make more money by kind of incorporating, what do you call this, that math type thing into your trading. Now, I didn't really do much math, to be perfectly honest. It was more like just kind of like writing out numbers and pointing at them. But I think that's a substantial, you know, making headway into the whole world of mathematics, and that we should be somewhat proud of ourselves for having made the attempt. Overall, yeah, that would be. I would say that's probably what would be. I think that's probably about right overall, generally speaking. Cool. So nice one, Spaceman out. I love Rocky Outcrop's drawings. I'm often multitasking while listening. Just life, yo, just life. It's life. But I have to stop and watch the drawings as it gets deep into the explanations. GOLD, gold. Thank you, Space Banana. That pinned link worked for me. Yeah, I know. WLO. So, like, you get this company called Streamlabs, and they're like, let's make stuff, or let's use this WLO company to make a link thing for people. And then we'll give you, like, free premium access to it if you've got premium Streamlabs. But then you get premium Streamlabs, and then they don't give you free premium access to it. And then they're like, let's make the links have @ symbols inside the URL, even though Twitter themselves and stuff like that don't do that these days, because it's just kind of confusing to browsers and whatnot and to people using the URL. But well, let's just do that anyway, because that's how we do things, because we've never heard of the internet and running things, and the @ symbol doesn't actually make your name any more unique. It's just really stupid URL to have. But hey, let's do it anyway. And they did it anyway. And then they were like, let's make it so that maybe, you know, a quarter of the time that people click it, for whatever reason, the link just doesn't really work. Let's do that. Yeah. So that's really cool. It's really fun. Let's see if it works for me. Oh, it works for me, but it doesn't work for everybody all the time. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, comments on the back of a postcard to willow dot internet at address.normal. No, you swear the right amount. Thanks so much, Shakar. That's good to know. Amber over here. Wait, wrong screen. Wrong screen, Rocky. Get your discipline sorted. Be disciplined. Thanks to the... Thanks. Get your directions. That's where the thing is. In the 3D space of this 2D plane of your drawings, that there is where that is, right? So you can imagine, it is hard to point this at the 2D plane. I'm existing. I'm actually not even a real human being, by the way. A lot of people think that I am. It's fucked up. I'm actually not. This is all just... I'm actually trapped behind this plastic here, and I'm digital. I can't actually leave this space at all. The only times I do is when I put on a green screen. Anyway, I try and reach out for these things, no matter how much I go for them. You can see that. Look, doesn't matter. It doesn't affect them at all, right? Because I don't actually exist. So anyway, it's a little bit behind the curtains there. Thanks, teaching patience. I shorted Bitcoin at 55.6, holding for 10-minute flash. Fail at 53.869. P.S. We Swedes sleep naked in the snow. No lame blankets and shit. Yeah, I know. Mental. Actually, I heard this other thing about some I don't know if it was Sweden or where, but they've got like a culture in one of these countries. You know what it's like, man. I'm from the UK, and I feel like people in say America not knowing that Scotland isn't a province of London is really annoying, right? And I'm sure as a Swedish person, you must hate it whenever people like from the UK say all those Northern Europeans, one of them. I know you've got distinct countries and cultures. How frustrating it must be. The same way I feel frustrated as a Scottish person being lumped in with England. Anyway, I crack on. So I heard about one of these northern countries. You know how it is. Actually have this culture where married couples have their own duvets each. So like they each sleep with single duvets as opposed to sharing a big one. And to them, in a lot of places, that's totally normal. Makes a lot of sense. To women in these countries, it sounds like the worst thing in the world ever. And to guys in this country, it sounds like an absolute genius idea. And it really does kind of make you wonder who really is in control in this country, in these countries. Who's really in control? Who really is? Maybe in some way, actually, I'm making a joke here. It's not really worth it. I'm going to finish off the joke. Maybe in some ways during the day, it's a patriarchal world out there, a man's world, and that women don't get the rights that they deserve. But maybe that's only when the light is shining, For the rest of the time, when the sun goes down, it's definitely women that rule the world. And when it comes to like duvets, and it is a substantial thing, it's just like me waking up last night with cramp in my leg. It ruins you. It can ruin you. If you want men to be nicer, then I think we need to have a 2 duvet system. Oh my God. People are going to be upset with me for saying that. I can't believe it. Live alert during show. Got the receipt. It went through. Ooh, excellent. Still waiting for my delivery of my window glazing. If the alert comes up on the left. So wait. Yeah, great. We good here? I think we're good here. Tip into Rocky's not YouTube. That's brilliant. Tip into Rocky's not YouTube. What the heck is that though? So tip into Rocky not YouTube. Tipped 1337. Thanks so much for that. Tip into Rocky not YouTube. That's so nice of you. That's really funny as well. You can see this over here in this virtual space. If only I was a real boy. One day, I've got a guy out there, an old man who promises to some old man's writing to me, telling me that I'm not a real boy, but he'll make me a real boy by filling me up with wood and stuff. So we have to get back to that old man. Meet up sometime. What? What was that? So yeah, charts. That's what we came for. That's what we'll do. It's 2:57. Oh wow, I've almost made it through the entire show. Almost made it through the entire show already. I was a bit later starting. It was the technical issues, right? I'm streaming through my mobile phone at the minute, which is cool. That was me doing selfie jokes. So yeah, we should really look at some other stocks and stuff, right? We've done AMC. We did that really good already. We've done GME. We did that really good as well today. We've done... Oh, what's this? We're trying your with your PayPal alert. I just sent one. Is the alert working on your end? Also, it looks like yesterday's chat on your screen right now. FFS, really? Is it? Ah, that's why it wasn't changing. Look, there came a wee thingy, right? So so that alert came in, but it didn't come in through the bloop doop thing. That's annoying as. Stream Elements, stop being so gash. Look at this, look. Paul B, super chat. So the super chat worked. Hi Rocky, can you give me your insights on Shiba? Yes, Paul, can do. So that dude, that worked, right? But the PayPal one didn't. That is so frustrating. Do you know what, everybody? There's a thing, right? This jar over here is supposed to have all these fun animations of different stuff in it, and it's not working, right? I think maybe what I'll do is I'll move back to Streamlabs. Maybe that's what I'll do for Monday stream. Maybe I'll even practice it over the weekend or even tonight if I wanted to. I was actually planning on having a drinking stream with y'all at some point as well, but we'll have to see how it goes. Thank you for these donations and whatnot. I'll probably go back to Streamlabs where my donations and all that worked just better. I didn't have to do stupid stuff. Like, I've got a thing here which should show up around about this visual space in the front, which tells you when people become Patreon members. So if anybody wants to do that and see if this thing works, then we can try that. On Streamlabs it works as well easily enough. So I'll do that because I want to have the stream to be as most enjoyable for everybody, and that means that these engagement things are actually good. 9:59, 44 seconds. How about I stop yapping for 15 seconds and go back and take a look at some more charts of some things. Let's do that. We have got a request that's come in already for Shiba, so we'll take a look at that and we'll take a look at some others. I'll hit the intros again for fun. And we're back for the final run of the show. This last half an hour where everything works really well and everybody has a fantastic time. That's just what happens in the last half an hour of the show. It's been decided. We have SHIBUSDT over here. That is, I mean, I wonder what's the deal with SHIB. Is it like a dog of some sort? What is a SHIB? What is Shiba? Is it like Shiba, Shibu? Is it SHIB, Shiba? Is it Shibu coin? Is it like that? Is it Shibu? Is that what they call it? Shib? Is it just Shiba? Shiba, yeah, Shiba. That's what SHIB is. Shiba. Is Shiba a type of dog? Right, yeah. So, no, Elon Musk's Shiba Inu tweet isn't pumping SHIB's price. No, it's not his tweet that's pumping the price. It's people who proactively engage in pumping and dumping stuff. Will Shiba Inu coin reach $1? Expert analyst. Okay, cool. We've got an expert analyst here from the Daily Express. Boom, boom. Daily Express. I do not accept your things. I do not accept them. Reject all of them. Reject all and save F off. Right, Shiba Inu is a breed of hunting dog from Japan. So that's what it is. Yes, great. So somebody else has come along with one. They're like, let's make a bunch. Let's do this. Really annoys me that these things happen. But here we have it. Whatever, eh? Anyway, we can still use TA and everything on it. It's all good. It's just that you're in a world where, of course, like I say, you're going to see drive after drive after drive of divergences and them not playing out because it's you know, a bull at poker. Have you ever played poker, right? Have you ever played poker and had a bigger stack than everybody else at the table? Have you ever done that? I'm sure that other people will have. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that have done that. Have you ever done it? Have you ever been at a poker table and you've had 20,000 credits and there's 6 other people at the poker table and between them they've got maybe 7,000 in total? Have you ever had that experience? Do you know what it's like? So the ones who do know, super chat, thanks so much for that, Sarah. The ones who do know what that's like, we can tell you all about it, right? You can dictate the terms of play for everybody else. They can't afford the ante, you can. You can make them not afford it. You can make it so that every single thing that they do has got way higher risk. You can change the conditions of the game. You can almost change the rules of the game because you're a financial powerhouse and they aren't. Now, there's huge risk involved in doing that. But if you're good at doing this job, then there's at times, especially like in a poker tournament or whatever, you can completely control it yourself. You could sit in a poker tournament and kind of just drag it on knowing that you're you're taking all the money off of that table, and no problem, no problem, no problem. And then eventually you'll get moved to a different table, and your money will be more equivalent to everybody else's, and those conditions change back again, and it's completely different all over again. Now, do you know that experience where you're sat there at the table with way more money than everybody else? That experience when you're sat at the table with way more money than everybody else is like this experience. Wouldn't be a Rocky Outcrop show if it didn't at least once try to move the charts and draw a line instead. My God, right? Really? Wouldn't be is this experience here really, in a sense that you've got all of this going on. Now, this actually did eventually turn around, which is quite nice. And technical analysis does work, like I say on it. It's just it's really going to put it to you. And then all the way up here. What about this? All the way up here is that you're getting ding, 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 like all this, again and again and again, again and again and again. Like this is obviously the decline here, and along the tops, like the divergence all the way along here, all the way along, and it just didn't give up. It just didn't give it up, and what that is in so many ways is this. It's the poker table, and you're here and you've got all the money, and everybody here is like, we're going to play poker, we're going to do risk to reward poker game, I'm going to bluff or whatever. And this person here's like, comes round, ante up, everybody has to put in $10. I'm going to do this. I'm going to pay to see the flop. Oh, I think I've got a really good chance of this one. Oh, I don't know. I'm just taking a punt on this one. Flop comes out. Fuck you, 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 fuck you. Right? Do you know? Right? You've played poker like this before. You've seen it happen, right? So that's what that is. And what I mean really for people, again, that people that don't understand, is that this person here can dictate the terms at which you're able to play. They can choose everybody else's risk to reward. Like the ante comes round, it's $20, $20, $20, $20, $20. All these guys know that $20 represents 1% of their entire account balance. This person then drops in $72. And it's like, you know what? This one's not worth it. And then, this not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Then there's this guy who only got in because he was like, it's a punt anyway, right? Comes up with the river cards. This person's like, you know what? You can have this one, pal. You can have this one. And gives it to them because whatever. Like they were just dictating play. They didn't really care. It was nothing to them. It was the same cost. Whatever. They gave it to them. They just didn't want to give them any real money because they're not actually risking anything. They don't know what cards they've even got. So this person played a game which is called bullying everybody else. This one played a game which is risking it, and they got the money from this one. Most of the time that doesn't happen, but you'll have probably experienced this scenario as that person when everybody else at the table is like, I can't actually afford to play against this person right now with this thing, and you're like, screw it, why not? And then they're like, I was only bluffing anyway. I don't really care. I'm just trying to bully everybody. Because one of the things that you do when you're playing poker is you just try and make everybody feel like shit. Not if you're playing with friends and all that. But you don't want them sat there feeling happy and everything else. You want to dictate conditions, etc. That's what's going on here. That's what happens with this thing, and that's just how this is. So it's like, wee, around we go, and then somebody's like, wee, up we go, and that's that. Now the markets themselves, whoops, missed that one. Markets themselves are obviously telling us that there are peaks, etc., that come in at certain times, and we need to respect that. Now, understanding when and where those peaks and that will happen is very, very difficult. So as you can see, here was a peak just here, and it went up again, and not only did it just go up again, that from the very extreme of that peak up to the very extreme of the next one, it went up like 6-7%, having dropped down, so that from the higher low essentially along the way up to the highs, it went up. What did it go up? It's very hard to get this mouse thing to line up here right now. Went up 20%, right? 20%, etc. in that period of time. So it's a substantial difference if you're just looking to take a short, and the size of the short that you were looking to take is only going to move down 15% from the very high to where it ultimately went. Which means that if you're from your other high down to where it ultimately went, it only went down 5%. So you see what I mean? Like the end result being that at the peak when the RSI came in, it actually rose higher than the ultimate profit that you were able to make off of the move of selling the RSI anyway. So this creates a condition where you're at the table and you feel like, nah, like all these ones, because somebody else is dictating play, and you're getting that you would get a 6% win by longing the RSI over sold conditions compared to a 5% win by by going with the thingy. And then of course, while you know that between the two overall peaks there's also bearish divergence, and then that you're not getting any sort of change in conditions at all, or you're not even really getting a proper test of this thing. Then in fact, in terms of the structure of it, that ultimately the next low that came in, the actual next low that came in, really the next low that came in was only a couple of percent down. So from the very peak up here down the way to here, 222. Now, what happened in the rest of this time? What happens in the rest of this time? In the rest of this time, when there's this confusion on, well, what happens in the rest of the time when there's this confusion on? It's just simply put, it's the conditions when this dude over here, the conditions the rest of the time are is that it's that they all decide to get out. They all decide to get out, and this person just takes all their money. Now they might not decide it. They might not all decide it on the flop. You know, some of them might get out on the river card. Some of them might get out whenever, right? Some of them might not even pay. They might not even get in. Might be like, you know, scenarios in poker where this guy pays a blind of $20. This guy pays a blind of $120. This guy just cancels. This guy cancels. This guy cancels. Well, actually, no. This guy pays the half ante and then cancels. This guy has to play the full ante, so is paid $20 and cancels. It gets back around to this point here, and he just cancels. You know, so this one's taken $10, $30, $50, $50 at this stage by betting 125 into a table where nobody's able to actually afford to play against them. Why can they not afford to play against them? Because if they actually win against this one, they'll only make 6%. You know, or no, sorry. If they actually win against this one, they'll only make 5%. But if they choose to stay out of it until such times as this fucker here themselves is like needing a wee or whatever, or isn't just or just simply put is changing things up a wee bit, you know, then they get the chance to do it. So then they get the chance to make the 6% that time. So who's the lucky guy at the table here? Well, it's this guy that sat right next to them, because at least occasionally they get to wait. But everybody, or this one here that sat on this side, sorry, because at least they get to see what the person's betting, you know, or whatever. No, this person here gets to wait and see. This one here's got the advantage, because they get to see what this one's betting, whereas this one here is always exposed. Every time they chuck in every time it's coming around for a bet, you know, they don't get to make their own mind up. This person makes their mind up for them. Do you see what I mean? So if somebody else is at the table and they're betting, and you're at the table and you're trying to do your game, and actually this person here is making all of your decisions, that's what's going on in this market. So I really hope that this sinks in eventually, this type of understanding of the markets, the flow in the markets, and just kind of being like, well, these are the conditions they're in. This is why it's so crazy nuts. Anyway, we come down here. What is the current story with Shibu? And we're at 11 minutes past 3. It'll be 11 minutes past 10 in your Eastern Daylight Time, or something like that. Daylight Savers Time or something like that. In the UK it's called BST, British Summertime, but it's Beast Mode. That's why I call it Beast Mode. We're entering Beast Mode. I hate the rest. I hate the Beast Mode should be our time all year round, in my opinion. Love me a bit of Beast Mode. Anyway, yeah, where are we? Well, this is negative, right? This is negative. That's a negative. But we're seeing some kind of patterns in here with this doodah. If this is actually turning around and turning into what we saw kind of over here, in terms of, you know, exploitative movements towards the top side and exploitative movements towards the downside, offering up far lesser risk to reward than people actually think that they're being involved in this, in trading this thing at the time. This is remarkable. Remarkable. Who'd have thought that a token that has people like Elon Musk talking about it would have had anything unusual going on? It never occurred to me. So yeah, who'd have thought it? So yeah, will we start to see these sorts of similar patterns playing out? We're up here, we've had that high come in and woo, and the drop down so far has been this rough in a sense, below that 382. Do I think that we've got a test of these moving averages coming in? Yeah, I would say so. This is a 5-minute time frame, by the way, for folks who are wondering. That's just what everything else looks like on the other time frames. Yeah, muck, right? I know, I get it. Biggie mucky. So instead, what you're looking at is how have we got on with this pullback? It's a similar sort of story to what happened with every other asset in the world ever across time. Funnily enough, it's just ever so slightly different looking in the sense that this wasn't a descending triangle just here, and this wasn't a full Wyckoff distribution top in here. We didn't have that on the go. We didn't have that on the go up there. We did come down here and put in a nice little wedge here in this movement, and then we've obviously then expressed the range of that wedge. So that's good. So that's where we are with regards to this one. It's not quite done the full thing, but it's the guy who's doing this didn't do it with the extreme detail of what's been done in other chart lands, but it's okay because he's doing a good job. Let's give him a wee briefcase. There you go. Now you know he's a worker. Now you know he's got the working thing. This is a truth, by the way, in life. I often tell people that if you want to get that job interview, if you want to get that job, young guy, you want to get a job, you want to get that job, you want to get that job, buddy. You want that job? Do you want that job? Go to a jewelry shop or a costume shop. Buy a wedding ring. Buy a wedding ring, buddy. Right? Go to your job interview. Make sure you shake your hand of the people interviewing you with that hand that's wearing that wedding ring. You want the job? How badly do you want the job? How badly do you want the job? Have you got that wedding ring on yet, mate? Why have you not gone to that shop, bought that wedding ring? You want the job. Doesn't matter that you're not married, man. Just get the wedding ring, put it on. If they ask you about anything, say, my wife. Get the job. Tell them that you lied. You lied in your job interview, that you don't actually have a wife. You might get fired. In the UK, it wouldn't be against employment law to fire you for that. They could just fire you for any reason in the first 2 years that you're working in the UK for no reason if they want to, which is funny. But in the US, you might be able to do that. Anyway, do you see how this guy suddenly looks a lot more like he's capable of doing the job? By the way, see how this it started off, right? And I was like, here's this guy. And you're like, no, he can't do it. I don't care if he's wearing a hat. There's no way he could do this. There's no way he could do this job you're talking about. What's that? You're telling me that you believe this guy can do the job? So yeah, there's another tip for you. Go in there, do that. Don't say basically the entire time you're in there. Make a point of saying essentially once, you got the job, banana. Right. Dead Boy Chipmunk dropped a poop and 99 cents. That's right. That's right. So anyway, we're right below this moving average here in the 1 hour time frame. Could we do that movement down the way? What movement down the way? Did I highlight one already? No, that was on XCUR. That was on the other one, the actual stock, not this one. But yeah, could we start oscillating here in a way that gives you this sort of dissatisfactory movements? Could we? I wonder. 4 hour time frame. Yeah. What I came over here to do though, I described the markets in general. I did that. Pardon me. Excuse me. Sorry for burping. Show where we are. Yep. Come up. Didn't quite get a full golden pocket there on that one, but whew. As you'll notice here, I'll just pop this onto linear. Not massive difference between the logarithmic and linear charts here. Just look at this thing. Okay. And yeah, we're just below that 382. So how do you want to play it? This would be a better entry if you've got patience. Yes, this thing can move. It's done this move. That happened. The volume's down. The volume is down throughout this period overall. Overall, it's throughout this period. This is where the volumes come back in at again. Let's just look at that a little bit lower again. So you can see that there was no volume, then actually in this phase here, no volume, then a bit of volume, but less volume. So I'd still be quite cautious on this one. Where can I show people in a visual example of being cautious on something like this? Oops. Just give me a second till I recreate something for you. Oops. That was a willy. I even gave this guy a nose. Just because he's professional. He deserves a nose. So any sorts of any memories of the last 1.5 minutes coming back to you at all here? Any memories of the last 1.5 minutes coming back at all here? Let's try and make this thing look somewhat similar. What is it here that I wanted to do? It's like something like this. And then I had a descending triangle. Then I had this here. Then I had this drawing on here. Then I had it like this. I had a wedge around this bit. Had a movement up. So yeah, I just urge caution in a sense. And then drawing a Fibonacci retracement from the high to the low. And then be like in at this zone here. And then pull back. And then take out the measuring stick. Go from that ultimate high that came into this low down here. Say 25% pull back. 25%. And 12.5%. Is not much of a coincidence, is it? That's exactly half. This went down 12.5, and that went down 25. In that region there. Just be aware of these things. Just be aware of these things. So so that's where we are with SHIB. SHIB. So let's just look again here at this one. What time frame was it visible on? Where's my man gone? Did I delete the man? Ah. What? Did I delete the man? Sorry, man. Oh, we've already done that movement down the way, I suppose. So, you know, if you want to just say that, and I'm not doing the fractal thing, If you wanted to say that, you know, we could go up the way, we could. Caution above the golden pocket zone, and there really ought to be. That would only be a tiny little bit higher high. Just sayana. That would only be a little bit higher. We do have decent movements in terms of, it actually is decent movements up in terms of Fibonacci jump ups and that whatever that have happened here. Will we see the same ones? I don't know. I would be bullish on this one up to this point here, cutting off my risk at 2,500 at the minute. 2,000 0.02500. Anyway, that's a whole substantial chunk of education right there with regards to how this is going. So if you want to have it, so I don't know. I dare say that what might have looked like, so a chart that might have looked like before, that looked like this, where you're thinking to yourself, I don't know what this is all about, right? That there, I think that by doing this, and although it's ridiculous, and I get comments from time to time of people in the YouTube saying to me that it's I sometimes get people saying, oh, very, very, very rarely, that it's silly. That you can see this dude here, who's a very, very, very cute looking, happy little chap, but a little bit gormless, is doing what's happening over here. And then you've got this chart, and you've got, please have the drawings on it that I just did. And then you've got this guy, who's a bit more of a sensible looking adult businessman type fellow, but dressed similarly, doing the same sort of thing here. And then suddenly, then you can see a chart which actually, you know, it's got more kind of familiarity to it. Now, I'm not saying it's going to follow along with it at all. It's definitely not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that there's dynamics at play that happen in markets, and this is us witnessing it. Now, this will be when we look back in the future. 2021 will be the year for this. This will be the year for this type of crap. 2021, like the type of crap of like looking at Wyckoff back in say December time or whatever. Then in January, February, March, having people asking me about Wyckoff, then Bitcoin going through Wyckoff, then having everybody talking about Wyckoff for the rest of that year. Maybe it'll ping up hundreds of examples constantly of the same thing happening. This might be the year for that. It certainly seems to be more the year for it this year than it was in the last couple. 266666 depends on how you're trading this thing, you know, at a minute. I mean, like, so whatevs. I mean, my analysis is pretty damn good there, I think. I don't really care though. It's had this big pullback here at the minute. You could be looking up higher. I said all that sort of stuff, but I'd be managing my risk with this moving it over here. Obviously, it's 2650. It was at 2590 when I was talking about it. So depends, you know, if you were using leverage like I was in that trading account there yesterday and whatnot, then you'd be having it cut off, you know, in profit at this stage without having to worry about it. It really depends. Like, what type of move are you looking for? You know, what is it that you're looking for? And when somebody asked me, can you take a look at Shibu and what's your opinion on it? What opinion did you want on it? If this was an opinion that wasn't useful to you, then let me know what type of opinion it was that you would have wanted on it, because that's my opinion on it. And I think it's a cute opinion. Don't take it anymore, Vic. Where did the man go? I didn't notice you delete him. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't delete him. I didn't delete him. I didn't think I deleted him. And the man went. And he was my friend. Disappeared. My friend. Just flashbacks of Kenny G's inner thoughts of Kenny G. Again, if you want to know what the inner thoughts of Ken Griffin are on my channel, you should definitely check it out. Just search in the videos on my channel for the inner thoughts of Kenneth Griffin, or Kenny G, or Ken Griffin. Inner thoughts of Ken Griffin probably will get you the video, and you'll see what his inner thoughts are. Him and his friend Melvin. My friend Melvin. Melvin. Streamlabs says, talking to KT of Charka, yeah, it's the wrong thing. Why is that the wrong thing? Pause alerts. No. Reload overlays. I'm going to do it. Reload overlays, guys. Hit the button. Reload overlays. Exciting times. They've all disappeared. Reloading the overlays. That's how it's going to work. I'm just an insubstantial, ethereal, digital representation of a person, by the way, not an actual person. So having these things gone exposes me. Oh, that's better. Come on, come back, all these protective layers. Space Banana in there chatting. That says, hi, Joe, hi, Mike, hi. Mike Fitzpatrick, super chatted $4.99. Mike Fitzpatrick, super chatted $4.99. Thoughts on OCGN? Check it out. That's the chat. He ghosted you, Rocky Outcrop. He did! Oh, I'd have just stopped out of my trading profit or whatever. This is an extremely volatile market, by the way. That Shibu. We'll take a look at whatever it was you asked for, OCGN, in a second. Highly volatile market. The highly volatile market. Oh, this is the highly volatile market. The highly volatile market. Average true range. The highly volatile market. It's been ages since I've had an average into true range on my charts. But this is the average and true range. And you're seeing that up here. That says 200 there, just below me right now. I'm going to get rid of this thing, or I'll flip it up. I'll leave it on the charts. I'll leave it on, but I'll flick that thing over to the right, and you can see up here that that's around about that 200, so that you're getting a range of around about 200. So 2600 might be what you're looking at if you're trading it on this particular chart. Now, actually, if you were trading this on Binance itself, then the way that it's got, just incidentally, 0.00000, then it'd be 26000 actually. It's actually got a whole extra number there. So the average true range, well, it says 200 here. The average true range is actually 2000 in terms of what you're talking about. 2000 of a thing which is like 26,200, 26,000. That's what it is. You're having to pay, you know, because even though it says 0.0000, that's all irrelevant because zeros don't mean anything. By the way, they don't mean anything. What means something is what the price of it is, and that's all those zeros that don't matter. 2600, and this is an average range of 200 of these, which is an average true range of 10%. Okay, just shy of 10%. An average true range of 10%. So if you were trading this on leverage with 10x, then that means that you're going to be liquidated in every single one of these movements, every single one, or you're going to make, or you're going to double your money, or you're going to double your money on every single one of these, bastard candles. Actually, no, that's not true. Back down there, it was less. Sorry, that was back before everybody started doing this thing. Sorry, but in this part where the true range is so high of a thing which is massive, so you're getting movements of a range which is 10%. Who's doing that? Who's doing that with all this? Who's doing that with all this? Most likely, it's you're it's hard. It's the hard knocks life for us. It's the hard knocks life for us. OCGN, what's the chat? Are you going up or flat? Maybe you're going down. Who knows? Maybe this is a turnaround. Who knows? This is the 1 hour time frame. Moving this so it's on the same axis on the right hand side. And it's not making me look shite on the YouTube doing TA with the lol of my friends. Yay! Let's do this now. Thanks, by the way, for tuning in. Do. It's an OCGN life for us. 24-hour time frame high. You can see this consolidation here with what has a upward sloping line down here and one down on the top as well. It's actually kind of like a descending triangle, and it could have a range like this from highs at like 15 to 6. That's a $12 range on this thing that's only priced near 6. So if it were to drop, it'd go down to minus half of its price at the minute. I mean, negative half. It's not going to work. That's a silly idea. And actually, as well, this upward sloping line is not so much. You can't really have an upward sloping descending triangle. That's not really how these things work overall. But you can, and I actually don't like that idea, really. But it's worth considering that we're in this consolidation phase in a sense here. 24-hour time frame, looking back, this is the entire year. The entire year where we've been kind of going up ever so slightly, but with really kind of, you know, no real momentum towards the top side. As you can see, as evidenced by a high which is lower than the previous high, followed up by a high which is lower than the previous high, followed up by a high which is lower than the previous high. And again, it just keeps happening again and again and again. So you have actually got this kind of, this feature up here, and then this feature in here around the prices. Now, that's kind of where we are, and the prices are bobbing around in the meantime in between. OCGN, OCGN, it's OCGN. So then this gap, it's been filled in. That's good to have. That gap down there, it ain't been filled in. So yeah, so there's that. This chart is also quite a shitty chart for liquidity, obviously. At sort of like at areas, like nobody really defends any areas or anything like that. It just rips right through everything constantly. Yep, there's that. Average true range on this thing is about 7 cents, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8 cents, 7.30. So it's not moving an awful lot. Then, of course, when it does get a movement which is beyond 6 or 7 cents, it completely annihilates the market. So you can see that ain't nobody prepared for movements above there. 10-cent movement, I'm not in it, it says the world. Right? So that's useful information to have. It's technical analysis. Why isn't it? Why wouldn't that be technical analysis? That's technical analysis. You know that the world doesn't want to be in this thing when it's beyond 10%. Just doesn't want to be in it beyond 10%. So so you get a movement from $7 up to $7.08, and everyone's like, you know what? Any short I had, I'm ditching it. I'm buying in with the long side now. Screw it. That's it, and off we go, and everything else. Now, if we get a movement that's back below 10 more than 10%, I'd probably expect it to push the market in the direction that it went in before. How about that for your technical analysis on this one? A little bit different way of doing it, but it's an OCGN life for us. An OCGN life for us. So I'd be looking for those movements there. 714 dropped from 731 down to 720. 714 ultimately then in the end. So we did get these 10% movements here as well over the period of a couple of days. Negative price action, but it didn't actually, create massiveness. 716 up to 733. So yeah, candles to any given period of time. There's 15-minute time frame here. 15-minute time frame I'm talking about, right? 15-minute time frame. 10% movements in 15-minute time frame. They push the market. You would expect that almost in any market, but this is how this one seems to work. Right, so that's an interesting insight. Was that gap filled in? Not quite. Interesting. Was there anything else down here? No, seems to be okay. And where are we right now? Trending up the way. Weird price action. Again, it's the same as whatever that other one was. XCUR. Nobody's interested in XCUR. But it's the same sort of thing in here, right? Big movement up, big movement down the way. So the chat that I had before, same sort of chat for this one. Think movements like that suck balls. Stocks that have movements like that in them suck balls. So there you go. So you're trading something that sucks balls. It's no problem. I've got no problem against people, or not people, stocks. Sucking balls. I don't have a problem about it. If they want to suck balls, it's fine. But that's what it is. That's what it's doing, though. That's what it does on the reg here. Do. Do I want to do sort of traditional technique? Yeah, let's do some of this. Tradition. Oh, tradition. Not going to learn an awful lot from that. What is this thing remind me of? Is it the Streamlabs logo? And does the Streamlabs logo remind me of something from Star Wars? Right, hold on a second, right? Because this is doing my head in. If I draw a circle around this, right? This is what I've been. This is the thing. The truth be told, this is what kind of occurred to me as soon as I opened this thing up. If I draw a circle around this, right? See this, and then go up like that, and back down. All right, and then go to here and go Stream Elements logo. It's this here, right? That's what I've been seeing the entire time looking at this chart. So it's really good. I'm glad that I got that annoyingness off my head. But there's also something else about that. There's something else, but I feel satisfied now. I've got that annoyingness out of my head anyway. So, but there is something else. Wait, there is something else. You know what else it is reminding me of as well? Kraken rum logo. Is it this one? No. Well, I guess that's. Well, yeah, this. I guess if you were to take this feeling, the feeling of this mixed. Well, I'm not even talking like this. It's 37 minutes past. If I started talking like this, then obviously I've completely lost it. Yeah. So the feeling of that, the emotions of that one, combined with the visuals of this one is what, and I had to get that off my chest. There's another one though. There's like several spacey type thing. It doesn't matter. HJ Bavash Duo. Ooh, tasty. Hail Hydra. Oh, Hail Hydra. Yes. Hi, Hail Hydra. That would be my favorite type of rum. Clearly, I need to take up Rocky Outcrop's suggestion of taking some alternative substances. Just kidding, Rocky. Just kidding. Good. 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 I wasn't a suggestion anyway. Don't misquote. Don't misquote me. I actually said the complete opposite from that yesterday. Jeez. Misquote factory over here. Why am I looking at this again? Why, I was asked to. Thanks for asking me to take a look at this one, matey. Yeah, stock movements been the break of this line here. Piss. The inability to get back above this line. Piss. The fact that we're above this line. Good. Worrisome movements in the markets with their 10% movements. 735 over there. The idea of it being able to get down here towards 715, very much easily accomplished. Very much it's on the way there. Even at the minute, you could maybe suggest it's a little bit overextended in where it is right now. It's a little bit, little bits. This thing has a regular regime at the bottom, whereas where it comes in a couple of times, whereas at the top not so much. You see here what's going on. So you're in an extremely high risk area to be longing it from here on what otherwise is a shit stock, which has got a play out from 884 to 644, so $2, having moved from 739 and not having been down to 530 or anything at the minute yet. So this movement back up could be considered to be a retest of this wedge, and it's looking pretty shite. Fair. I don't even know what this company does though. OCGN. I'm assuming that what they do is they take oxygen and they shove it right up your eyeballs. It's a highly sought after product. It's 340 now where I am, but over there in America it's 1040. That's right, it's 22.11. Can you believe we've made it so far in the Rocky Outcrop show? Whoop whoop, release the Kraken. That would be my favorite brand of rum, probably. Well, I say that, but it isn't. It'd be my favorite. Sugary. It'd be my favorite dark rum, not produced in Cuba, which is from the modern era, and has the best labels and branding on it, and a pretty standard sugar dark rum taste. Yeah, but it wouldn't be my favorite. It probably isn't my favorite rum. My favorite rum is going to be like some sort of Gran Reserva from Bacardi from Cuba or whatever, something like that. Like whatever. Nothing big. I mean, Bacardi is a Diageo brand anyway, so I don't really like Bacardi, but whatever, whatever. Who cares? I'm not massively into spiced rum, as it happens. Sailor Jerry and stuff like that. Not massively into it, but I do drink it from time to time. I've got a bottle of it over there, in fact, from when the last drinking stream happened. It was all right, but spiced rum and apple juice. What a way to make yourself feel sick after 6-7 hours drinking this stuff. Do I? No, I don't think I'll drink any spiced rum again for quite a while. Rum, see, Malibu? No, Havana number 5. Like, nice. Havana number 5 as a thing. It's like, yeah, so it'd be Havana number 5. And then they've got another one, like 35, the old one. That one. I don't know. It's expensive in this country, but it costs fuck all in Cuba. HJ, the Shadow of Lepton, ayahuasca. That would be a good one. I should try that sometime. Calico rum. Ooh, yes. Brandon Phrase, Rocky Crop, would you fancy a Tia Maria? Yeah, I would actually like a Tia Maria. I probably would enjoy a Tia Maria. I've not had what I've not had a Tia Maria in years, right? I like I would like to try as well because I've not had one in quite a while, years now. White Russian, man. I've not had a White Russian in years. I've not even had a Black Russian. I've not had a White Russian in years now. So I should really get on that. I should get on that. See, I don't drink milk. That's why. So I'd have to have a White Russian made with a milk alternative. Ugh. So obviously a few years ago I was very much not into that. I don't really drink glasses of the crap. But nowadays I think I probably could get one that'd be pretty much all right. I mean, has anybody tried that? Has anybody had a non-dairy White Russian? If you've ever had a non-dairy White Russian, let me know what works for you in the chat. Rocket Crop, why are you not looking at the chart monitor when you're chatting like this? Why am I not looking at the chat monitor? Yeah, I know, eh? What are these things? Why are they not logos of companies and stuff? Why are these things? It's annoying, isn't it? Lots of Ike-minded people still here. I love it. Ike-minded. Don't kick the baby. Kick the baby. Ike. You know, the baby from South Park. Canadian. The Ghost of Dan Ernst. I've heard you should have sober person there to look over you while doing. Yeah, man. It's like in any experience in life at all where you could end up hurting yourself. Then yes, of course, absolutely. Absolutely. Any experience at all in life, you know, it's the same thing. It's like, say if you've got a big old tree out in your back garden, you're probably wise to have somebody there just in case you fall out and break your leg. You know, just in general, sort of, we are social animals anyway, as well. So everything in life is better with other people. Mudson, I appreciate rum because you can mix with just about anything, but nothing's better than a good bourbon. Do you think so? You can mix with just about anything. Yeah, I get that. Because it's sugar, right? It's sugar. It's fermented sugar, and that's a good idea. That was a really good idea when they came up with that, and that's probably why it's best. But then, and why it mixes with anything. But you can't mix whiskey with anything, and bourbon isn't actually even really properly a whiskey. I mean, or whatever. It's made up in it. But I'm just kidding. It is a whiskey. But a lot of whiskeys aren't bourbons. Ooh, which is also another made up thing as well. In my opinion. But then again, I tell you that anything that's got an E in it isn't whiskey at all anyway, because whiskey's only from Scotland. So it's like, so that's my opinion on it all. But anyway, these sort of pretend whiskies that you get, bourbon's a pretty good pretend whiskey. But you know that it is like the pussy version of whiskey, right? Just so you know that. Just so you know that in some cultures around the world, it's like, yeah, I'm a hard man. I've had a hard day. I've had a hard day. I'm a hard man. And then the barman's like, what can I get? What drink can I get for you as a hard man who's had a hard day? And then the guy's like, I'm going to drink a bourbon. Hit me with a bourbon because it's been a hard day and I'm a hard man. And meanwhile, globally, the world's looking around going, yeah. Because it's the pussy version, right? It's the pussy version. It's the pussy version. No offense or anything, by the way. Because I can imagine there's a bunch of bourbon drinkers out there right going, no way, man. Bourbon is the hard man's drink. It's not, guys. It's not. Guys and girls. It's not. American Rocky sounds like Fun Rocky. Yeah, let's... New whiskey discourse just dropped. Whoop whoop. Rum and tea. Imagine that. Rum and tea. You could maybe do that. It'd be completely disgusting, but you could do it, and I think maybe we should. One bourbon, one scotch, and one beer. Yeah. But here's the real joke, is that people who go into drinking whiskey, who then are like, I'm a real man. I drink whiskey, and I drink it hard. And I don't even drink it. I'm a real man. I drink it neat. Right, that's the thing about whiskey is, right, you can drink it neat. It's called neat if you have it with no ice or water in it or anything. And it's technically the way you're supposed to drink whiskey. But then also what you can do is you can water down your whiskey with just a wee bit of water, right? What's that do to it? Well, if you don't like whiskey, let me tell you, it does F all. It just extends the torture of the experience for you or whatever. But if you do like whiskey, well, it just lets you taste it more and kind of like puts a little bit sort of stabilizers on the experience for you. Then you can have it over ice, which is a pussy man's thing as well. So that's what you'd be considered at over here doing that. But you can. So bourbon on the rocks would be a real sort of like, I'm a real man. Are you, mate? Brilliant. Let's go out and have a drink. What do you want to drink? I want a bourbon on the rocks. Oh, we're drinking like that. Well, if you're having a bourbon on the rocks, I'll have an appletini then, mate. Brilliant. Let the hair down, eh? Let's do it. Come on. Let's all have Lambrinis afterwards, and we'll have and that. So anyway, just so you know, the cultural change that happens with whiskey around the world. When of course all of it's bollocks, and that when you completely subscribe to that idea, then you're probably going to end up being the whiskey drinker that gets angry and beats his wife. Whiskey is the angry man's drink, apparently, just like how gin makes women cry, apparently. So you know, buy into those sorts of stereotypes too much, right? Too much, and you're probably turning into an asshole. So you've got an asshole scale, right? The people who identify that very top, I've just lost all my viewers, very top asshole scale. The next level on it are the people who actually believe it, and then there's the third level down there where the people who identify it and don't believe it and think that anybody who thinks it's a complete asshole as well. And I'll put myself on that third level, hopefully. Drink what you like. I think bourbon's nicer than whiskey as a general sort of rule in terms of flavors, and why not drink it if you want? So that would be that, by the way. And there's no point in being all hotty-totty about things. Really, there isn't. By the way, as well, my favourite Scottish whiskies don't actually come from water from the Spey, as it happens. So there you go. Interesting one. But that's just me, you know, and that's just my opinion. I mean, and here's another one, is that that Lagavulin, I can't remember how you say it, is not nice. And my least favourite whiskey, if you want to just completely do this, is Lefroy. I think Lefroy tastes absolutely disgusting. It's stupid. I think that Bruick Laddie is pretty good as a modern company and a modern whiskey, and I like them. I like their kind of modern take on things, and I do think that their taste is pretty good. And it's obviously it's not a Spey whiskey as well. It's an interesting one. But that's just because that's just like whiskey, you know, in the same in that or whatever. If I wanted just to have a whiskey flavored whiskey, then I'd go for that one as a sort of fairly clean one. But then there's plenty of different types. And I've got a bottle of Japanese whiskey on the way to me. Thanks so much for that, Ben. And I'm really looking forward to trying it. Thanks to Mike Fitzpatrick for tuning in. Mike Fitzgibbon's son is a nuclear physicist. But Mike Fitzpatrick sent a $4.99 super chat. Thanks so much, buddy. Thoughts on OCGN? Well, there they were at the time when we did them. Dead Boy Chick Monk. Can't speak right now. Dead Boy Chip Monk. Thank you so much for the 99 cents. That was a poop. I liked it. Thank you. CC tipped $5. Cheers, CC. CC is a female, by the way, for people who don't know that. Oh no, I doxed your gender. Sorry about that. I think I did actually. Mike Fitzpatrick sent $4.99 earlier on through it. I'm definitely trying the next time I play. Lemao. Trying that the next time I play. I'm gonna have to. I'm not. That's good to know. Oh, I've forgotten what I was talking about at the time. Thanks, man. Chris Sweeney says 2737 super chat. Great Bollinger Band video among many other education videos for crypto is setting. Is it more accurate to set it to standard deviation 2.6? Nope. 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 Not really, to be honest with you. BTCUSDT. Oops, BTCUSDT. I mean, if you mean some other cryptos than Bitcoin because you're trying to identify something different, then that's interesting. Here we have this indicator, the standard out of the box John Bollinger, the John Bollinger bands, the John Bollingers. Hello, this is my John Bollinger. Nice to meet you. Look at this. Look at the way that's working there, just so you can see. This is the 15-minute time frame on Bitcoin. So you can see that it's working like that. Okay, just a quick look. And then let's bring up some other. Here's Theta, for instance, a crypto that we look at from time to time on the channel, for example. See it on the 15 minutes. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. For example, now it's not just the 15-minute time frame. Let's see the 24-hour time frame. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see how this is going so far? Look at this 24-hour time frame. Look at that. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Are you looking with those eyes? Are you seeing? Are you seeing and believing? Are you seeing and believing? Now over here, inputs. this standard deviation 2.5, bing bong, hit it. Where was that? Is that better? Is that better? Is that better? It's slacker. It's a little bit slacker. Is it better because it's like, is it better in the sense it's like when you're on a double bed and you use a king size duvet? Because I do that myself, right? I get a king size duvet on a double bed. That would be I can't remember your American words for it. That would be a royale size duvet with a quarter pounder. That would be a quarter pounder bed with a half pounder duvet on it. I think that's American sizing. That would be a standard hamburger with a Big Mac on top of it. No, a Whopper. It would be a Big Mac bed. It'd be a Big Mac bed with a Whopper on top of it. I hope that translates to American sizing. Anyway, UK sizing, double bed with a quick king size duvet on it. Is that what you're looking for there? For that feeling of having had it all gone? Because that's useless, mate. That feeling is useless. It's a useless feeling to have. What is it that you're looking for with the Bollinger Bands? It's this experience here where you're like, that feels good. Oh, that feels good. I can put my legs all the way out here. Oh, that feels good. Or are you looking instead when you're trading at something to have something kind of be more like this? And for you to be able to go, okay, opportunity, something along those lines. Is that like, what would be the better of these two? Where you're like, do we have an opportunity or not? I can't quite tell. Do we have one or not? I can't quite tell. So out of those two choices, I would actually go for that one, which looks shitter, right? So on that sense, then, if you could have a choice which looked more like this, would that be the best? That would probably be the best. And then my point for you would be that that's totally probably how to look at that one, matey. So I'll just flick this back again. Actually, this is what this was like. This is, again, like I say, 24-hour time frame. We'll go to the 15-minute time frame so you can see what this is like here. You can see that we've got all of that nice Whopper duvet on a Big Mac bed, which is great. So all of our patties can slide all over the way. So what we can do, but the problem with this is that sometimes what can happen is that lower down patty can be over one half of the bigger circle, and the upper patty be on the other half of the upper circle, and there be substantial sections of bread that actually don't have any patty within them at all. Which is obviously not what you're looking for. Really, it doesn't actually make it a better burger to eat overall. Whereas, and this is just out of the box settings, it's just out of the box settings. So, people do change these things. Whereas this one here for me, while at times it looks a bit like ouch, 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 and the inexperienced person is like, oh, this Bollinger Band is less good because of features on it, of artifacts that we're seeing like this. This makes this thing less good. Afraid not, mate. It's actually the opposite way around. This is better, right? This is obviously substantially better than the alternative. And just so you can see that is indeed the case on different cryptos, here's Bitcoin again. That's what we were looking at before. This is on the 24-hour time frame. This is what we were looking at then. This is some of the recent TA that's happened up there, down here, up, down, up, down, up, down here, these wicks, etc. in this region. Let's see if this is enhanced at all by changing it to 2.5. And I'm happy to be wrong. I'm happy to be wrong, but is this enhanced? This has got empty bread on my burger. This has got, redundant duvet on a bed that I'm never going to be in. My mama said that I am afraid of the dark, but she's wrong because I have got a ghost in my bed. A ghost in my bed. Shout out of Monsters and Men who I was listening to yesterday. So you can see here, I don't know, no real benefits to having it here. I mean, it depends, right? It depends, because you might be thinking to yourself, I've got an idea. I'll trade exactly off the touches, just off the touches of this thing. I'll trade off the touches of this thing. It's all right, man. It's cool. It's the same thing as like you're playing Call of Duty and you're like, I'm going to get a sniper rifle. I'm going to go to the far end of the map. I'm going to stand up inside of a bunker. I'm going to try and shoot everybody from the long distance and stay really safe. And therefore, that's a better and more enjoyable game to be playing. And for some people, maybe that is a better and more enjoyable game to be playing. But for me personally, I would argue that it isn't. And I would say that from an objective technical analysis point of view, that it's also lacking a lot of the features of the Bollinger Band. Essentially, what you're saying is that in here, for this feeling of comfort, I'm going to be more than willing to actually, discard perhaps the most important feature of the Bollinger Band, which is quite simply put that whenever the Mings move outside of it, there's a 95% chance that they'll move back in. Because then you've got one of the most powerful trading examples of trading that you can get. Whereas, and over here, you're saying you get one example of it just here and one example of it just here, etc. But, an example of it just here. And maybe just the lack of examples of it makes it better somehow. I don't really know. Over for you, it's like back to you. I've just put the ball back into your court. That would be my side of that debate. There are people out there who do things substantially different. What was the guy from the turtle? The way of the turtle. What indicators did he use? Indicators. What indicators did he use again in that story? Turntable, Wikipedia, indicators, turtle system, turtle. I've never looked at this before, but I have. I've read the book. 20 years on, the turtle strategy still work. Nice one. Everything's as old as the hills, mate. It's old as the hills. The turtle strategy is using stuff which is older than the turtles. The turtle strategy was developed from a guy who'd been trading for more than 20 years using the same strategy. So it's like 20 years on from what? Anyway, 20 years on from what? From the time that you heard about them or from the time that they started? The turtles themselves are more than... the turtles... Wait a minute. Yeah, 1983. 1983? What do you mean 20 years on, you fucking fanny? It's 2021. It's 2021. It's 21 plus 17. Whatever that is. You do the math. 21 plus 17 or something like that. Something close, something in and around that range. Oh, 4 o'clock. I forgot. I was in the middle of the... look into this. Look into this. Homework for you, buddy. Who was it that asked me that question? There you go. Homework for the guy that asked me that question. Damn. Should never ask them a question. Got homework. Damn. That's the worst thing in the world. Damn. Look at the tools that these guys use. They didn't use the standard setup, the standard tools. They didn't use the standard tools. They didn't use the standard out of the box tools. They didn't use the standard out of the box tools. Blah blah blah. Repeating myself numerous times to go over here. And then I bring up, where is it anyway? And then I bring it up. I just do it this way instead. Here's the way of the turtle. Find Bollinger. Bollinger breakout. Futures market, Bollinger 2.5 standard deviation. Okay. So who am I? Who am I to say no? Who am I to say no, right? I'll tell you who I am to say no, though. I'm the guy that'll give you the most substantial answer on YouTube, hopefully, and I'll try his hardest to do to serve you as well as I can, mate, by answering your question. You asked about it. I give you my own opinion. I looked into the comparison between the two of them, and then instead of saying like rely on me for my opinion and put the ball back into your own court, you're free to choose. And then I was to say that, and besides, there's plenty of people out there that have used different systems in the world. For example, the 2.5 standard deviations for the Bollinger Bands. Now you can see as well this guy here in a Donchian trend system. He uses a 20-day breakout for the entry and a 10-day breakout for the exits. Includes a 350 over 25-day exponential moving average trend filter. So the system also uses a 2 ATR stop as well. So like it depends on how you go. A 2 ATR stop, You know, this guy is willing to have the trend move twice against them. So ATR, just to go back over, and it's a lovely little sort of balance. The reason why things are so balanced, by the way, is because I am actually, you know, I'm like an angel or something. You know, I'm actually one with the universe. I'm very incredibly zen and balanced, and it's this type of amazing superpower that you get when you get that good at doing stuff, that I was able to put the average true range on earlier on, and then link that back to answering your question earlier on to, you know, to talking about the turtles, and then for the guy to be talking about the ATR in here, and for you to see the ATR and already know what it is. So the time when he says I use a 2 ATR thingy, then over here it's 2,774 is the ATR on a thing which is 54,000. Then if he was playing a breakout of this thing, then what he would do is he would use a 2,500 stop ATR, and it might even be at the lower end of the channel at the time that he puts it in as well. Anyway, that sort of thing. And he just plays the breaks. Donchian channels, that's what these blue lines are in the back. Those blue lines are the Bollinger Bands, right? Sorry. The Donchian channels, by the way, looking like this. And I'm totally going to go. I'm sorry, it's Friday. It's Friday, yeah. Bam, bam, bam. I always spell it wrong. It's not Don Chain. It's Don. That's why every single one of them have spelled it wrong too. It's Don Chian. Right? So you see that? Don Chian. This is how you spell it correctly. And then look at all of these user-made indicators. Public library. Don Chain. Ah, the Don Chains. Ah, Don Chain. Don Chian. Channels. These are the Don Chain channels. Come on. 10-day, 20-day break of the Don Chain channels. Here's a break of the Don Chain channels. Here's a break of the Don Chain channels. Bang. He uses a two ATR range, 2.7k. That's 5.4k. That means he's going to have a stop at 50k on his thing. A stop at 50k. That'd be taking out the golden pocket, right? So what we've just done is we've taken some of the rules of the turtle traders, the greatest traders of all time, and we've then read the book and understood them and applied them to the chart and applied it back to the information that we had before. And why did we do that? Because we're fucking cool. And if anybody says that we're not cool, then they don't know what cool is. Yeah, that's it. Do you know, that's always something I've always noticed, is I've always been the coolest dude in the room. Always. I'm just so fucking cool. That's just the way that it is. Anyway, cool people typically don't point that out about themselves. I just thought I would because I was enjoying it so much. Right, great. So, Anonymous, thanks for that. That was, 1 hour ago? Shout out to BMG Stomp Cave crew, and thanks, Rocky. Thank you, Anonymous. Thanks, Sal. Don't pretend. I know it was you, Sal. Thank you so much for that. Appreciated. Vic Vince sent 578 super chat. Thanks, teaching patience. You're welcome, man. Christy Callahan tipped 420. Nice. Cheers, man. That's awesome. It would be really cool. Supposed to have a big, nice weed leaf dropping into the jar over there when somebody tips 420. So annoying. I'll try. Maybe I'll be able to do that somewhere. Maybe I'll be able to do it some other way. Maybe. I don't know. I think Streamlabs has only got 3 options for coins, though, which is why my previous one with GME and AMC on it was so crap. That's why I moved to this one. So frustrating. I hate it. So, Christy, thanks so much. Tip into Rocky, not YouTube. 1337, again, thank you, Sal. 3D Benki, and yeah, I'm just pretty good at understanding patterns and everything else. I know that it was you that did that, despite the fact it's anonymous. 3D Benki sent 451, thank you so much for that. Instructions unclear. I hit a bunch of birds with my skis. Ghost of Dan said $5 super chat. Thank you to all that. There was also Nacho earlier on. You remember, got his thing wrong when he wanted XCUR, and I gave him XCUR. And then you've got Space Banana, and Sarah Restaino. In fact, though, as well, actually, there was Jeff Smith and Brave DeLorean Buck as well. You guys, of course, Mike Fitzpatrick doing it several times, Space Banana doing it several times, Sarah Steino doing it several times, the Natural Friend doing it several times, Ghost of Dan, just the once today. My goodness, such a generous guy. He so often does it several times. Ben K, great guy. He's sending me a bottle of whiskey at the minute. Really lovely, fantastic dude. Thanks very much for that. Vic Vince, very regular support of the channel. Much appreciated. Paul B, good guy. Thanks so much, Paul B. I hope you don't mind the amounts of sort of questionable chat I have with regards to spiritualism type stuff. And that probably not bothered at all. Mike, Chris Sweeney, all of yous doing it so often. Autumn Grace, my God, dues for my membership for the cool club. God, you're so cool. You are. Thanks so much for that, Autumn Grace. I love your picture. You actually are cool. You've got a cool. You can see everybody that's looking at Super Chat right now can see your cool little. She's doing a sort of swinging like a flapper. She looks like a flapper. From the 1920s, you know. Anyway, great, cool. Thanks so much to all of y'all. Harriet, thank you. Sarah, Place Banana, Chris Sweeney, it's all you guys in there. Anyway, yeah, like I say, so it's not just, I'm saying the names out here, but it's not just that they're generous once. These people are often generous more than once. Very, 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 very appreciated. Thanks so much for that. And then to all of you, Ronaldo Moreno, Harriet, Autumn, Shikar, Tradespot, Sal, Sarah, Chris, West Coast Banana Freesh, Piga, Nachu. Piga, by the way, are you Puddle in the Discord? Let me know. Chris Sweeney, Autumn Grace, Shikar Chara, CC, Fat Keanu. And all the rest of it. Thanks so much for joining me. All of y'all have been subscribed to the channel for at least the last couple of weeks. That's how you're able to chat in here. It was a little bit different today. Wanted to mix things up a bit for the weekend and all that. If I just drag this picture over to the right-hand side, and you can see this appearing on the charts here and or on the screen. And when I actually, I'll get rid of that little notice here. When I hit this orange button with the mouse, just here, this orange button, that's the end of the show. So that'll be happening in the next 30 seconds. Thank you. No, I need to get Discord. Piga, you need to get Discord. The reason why I asked is because there's a similar color profile in your picture, that's all. And your name starts with a P and it starts with a P, so why not? Need to get Discord. There was a guy, another update for Discord people. Guy yesterday got himself chucked out the Discord, kicked, or was it the day before yesterday, or the day before that? Because he hadn't used the Discord in ages, months and months, and then got kicked. Right? We were having a chat in the chat room, and he said, "Oh, that's weird. I guess I'm out." The name's Silver Leopard. Hi, pal. Yeah, you can totally get back in. It's just, there's a free open chat room thing. For everybody, it's just one room. It's just one room for chatting in for everybody. It's free. It's public. Anybody can get that for free at all. So everybody can. You can totally get back in. You can find the server by going through Discovery on Discord. If you just search for it, if you hit the Discovery button and search, you'll find it. Rocky Outcrop. Search for that. You can also join it just by using the vanity URL www.discord.gg/Rocky Outcrop. For example, those are ways that you can join it for free. But the main bulk of this content that's in there, that costs £6, I think, a month. It's less than the size of a tall cappuccino macchiato from Starbucks across the street. Specifically, something along those lines was what I was thinking. Yeah, I'm a bit 2010 with my internet pricing models. How passe, talking in cups of coffee. Well, that's why I did it. But it is passe now, and it's going away, and it's going up. By 2022, it'll be $100 a month. Okay, so at the end of this week, and it's Friday today, so you can sniff it. The week is coming up. It's ending pretty soon. Either today, tomorrow, or Sunday. I changed the price of it, and by changing the price of it, what do I do? I stop people getting the Discord membership for $6.99. It goes to $25 a month. It goes to $25 a month subscription. And then what happens in that's October, right? Then what do you think happens in November? It's not going to be much of a shock to find out that the prices will be going up again then. Why? Well, why not? Right? That's actually it. No, genuinely, seriously. If you actually have an answer to that, you can let me know through various means, including by joining the free part of the Discord and talking to me directly there. Also, by 2022, I imagine I'll have probably blocked people from being able to contact me directly for free on there and that. But people have done for a long time, and you know, it's all fine. So that's where we are, right? So just so you know, this is happening. I'm not hiding it from anybody. It's completely public knowledge. So that guy that got himself kicked there is because he missed all of the chat that I put on YouTube for months. He'd missed all of the chat within the Discord for months. He turns up at the last second. He's like, "Oh, but I joined before then. Oh no." Well, it's we'll tell you what, mate. It's less than $10 a month at the minute if you want to get in. right? And if you don't want to, then you don't want to. But the prices are going up, and that's the end of that. Excellent, nice one. Thanks very much for tuning in. Done the reverse roll call, done all of that, giving out the news again with regards to Discord because it's happening, and there's going to be nobody. See, what's going to actually happen is I'm going to change the price of it, right? And there'll be people who tune in and go, I thought this was actually $10 a month, and now you're seeing it's only it's $25 a month. Rocky, what's happened? Can I get it cheaper? Look, you can't. You can't. Okay, you can't. And literally, you cost me time. I spent time yesterday, no offense, and don't cry about this. Oh God, I hate it when people cry after I say something like this. Crying, oh my God, you know, don't cry about it, please. But I spent time yesterday dealing with that. Which, why should I do that? Why should I do that? Right? So if you ever think about, if I say to you, I'm putting the price of it up to $25 a month minimum by Monday, and then you say, oh, why shouldn't you do that? Then my response, why you shouldn't do that is, my response is, well, that's just the price that you pay, and that, you know. So that's that, right? So that's that, and it's good. It's really good. And I hate people going in there and watering it down, like the Balavacoa quid. By the way, I can absolutely say that here. That guy, by the way, he's going to end up getting himself kicked out. In no time. Why? Well, one, right? He's a total asshole to everybody. What he does is he goes, I'm an asshole. Oh, I'm sorry for being an asshole. Didn't mean to be an asshole. All in the one sentence, constantly. He's basically is Ruler Zod with a different name. He acts and talks and is like Ruler Zod. And the very first time I ever saw his name was directly underneath a post that Ruler Zod had put on Twitter. Not Twitter, on Reddit, and that guy is a guy who is the person who inspired the whole going paid and everything, because he tried to get my YouTube channel shut down and proactively tried to actually damage my channel himself. Why? Because he's a total little bitch. That's why. So anyway, the Balakwa Quid comes and he says, I have no interest in TA, I have no interest in any of this. But you said specifically that something's going to happen in October and blah, blah, blah. Is it still on for October? 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 Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? How annoying, man. And also quite blatantly saying out loud that he doesn't actually value the community and have any intention of being there. So since he doesn't watch this at the minute, I can just tell you that he's getting booted, right? This guy's getting booted. He's getting booted. The next time he pisses anybody off, he's on his final warning. He was on his final warning from me ages ago, but then I gave the job over to the mods. Now all of the mods individually giving this guy final warnings, right? That's how bad it is. He's getting booted. And there are other people who getting booted in there. If you've got a grandfathered account and you can see any of the rooms at the minute, other than the chat room, you don't need to do anything. Stop worrying. All done. You don't need to do anything. You're done. You're fine. It's great. It's no problem. If you have an old grandfathered account you got in for free months ago and you can only see one room, it's too late for you, mate. It's too late. You should have done something about it when you had the chance. For months, it's too late. With the possible exception of people who I like, right? So if you know me and you like me and I like you and we've chatted in the past and you've not been around for a couple of months, give it a shot. I'll probably upgrade you because I'll probably like you. Shout out to Voicey, for example, a guy that I like who you know, I like Voicey, so he was there. Meh, screw it. It's my discretion. But if you're there and you've not got it, and you can only see one of the rooms. That's that, right? Done. Fantastic. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm about to hit that button right there. Okay. So this is a good time to hit the like button. I really do appreciate it, and share with friends and all that good stuff. And just so you can see, I really do appreciate you all tuning in. Really do. And look. Gonna just move the mouse up. You can't really see the mouse is up. You can see it. Look, oh,